Right, good evening, everyone. So it's Monday, the 1st of July. We're halfway through the year, and where on earth has that gone? I still feel like it should be like February. Just certainly some points in June, it did feel like it was. I'm just going to mute a couple of people. Right, and I'm going to mute them. Okay, so today we've got guest speaker Helen Thacker, who is a district manager, and she's going to be training today. She can explain what she's decided to train on. We were talking a little bit on Messenger earlier. So Helen was a wedding cake designer, and she joined the business on the 22nd of March, but she's been a customer for about a year before then, and she was introduced to the products by Meg Bryson, who is also her sponsor. So what's been really exciting, she qualified to be a district manager in 4 weeks. So she clearly sort of jumped right in, and must be really passionate about it. It's great to sort of when people fly like that. And so she originally joined Arbonne to make a bit of money alongside her cake business, but she then saw the potential of network marketing and has dived straight in. So that's really exciting. We're going to hear some fantastic training. I've got my pad and paper here, so I'm going to hand you over. So I'm going to unmute Helen, and then I will mute myself in a minute. So are you all ready to go, Helen?
I am. Hi everyone. Can everybody hear me? Everyone's okay. Great. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, well, this is amazing. So thank you for listening. I hope you find this useful tonight. I actually, by chance, only found out that I was training about an hour ago. So that came as a nice surprise. I did offer to do this, but I missed the message. My fault completely. But yeah, I mean, it's really exciting to be on here and get the opportunity to do this. And I'd suggested to Fiona last week, actually, that I'd like to do some training tonight on how to do a live product launch. So something at my house, because this is something that I have done quite a lot of since I first joined. And as Marie-Louise said, I qualified for district manager 4 weeks after starting, and most of that was down to doing a lot of live product launches at my house. So this is something that has proven really successful for me, and with practice it's got easier and easier. So I thought, okay, I'll offer to do this, and hopefully, like I said, you'll be able to pick up some tips and ideas. So I've just written some notes. Apologies if I keep looking down for those. Like I said, it's the first time I've done any live training at all, which is really exciting. So by the way, I can only just see you, Marie-Louise, on my screen. Is that right? Yeah, that's fine, isn't it? I don't need to look at myself. Brilliant. Okay, thank you. Thanks for working. Sorry, go on.
Are you on your phone?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I don't know if you can put it on so that you got multiple speakers on.
Oh, there we are. Yeah, that's okay. Brilliant. Fantastic. I can see you all. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
sorry, I'm really bad with technology, so I do apologise. Right, here we go. So, my live product launches, and we've all probably done them or thought about doing them, and I've really learned over time how that you really got to make them your own thing. And that just comes with practice and experience. I've had the amazing Meg Bryson and Laura Leggett, who have really helped me when I first got going. Obviously, Laura has been particularly supporting me over the last 3 months as well, spending a lot of time with her. And I've borrowed from a bit of what they've said, a lot of what they've said, obviously, a lot of their advice. And also Danny did a really good training quite a while ago on what to do with the product launch, and I borrowed from that, but I mixed it with a bit of my own experience as well. I think that's really important, that you do sort of be yourself and try and find your own way. Because when I first started, I was just following the lead, and it was very much about the business and doing the DA, and I could see that some of the people who were at my party were starting to fall asleep in the corner. And I was like, right, okay, we need to sort of maybe cut that bit back. And so now it's very much about being hands-on with the products, and that's really what I want to do. I want the launch parties to be a really fun evening, just an hour and a half. That's what I usually sort of say to people. Keep it quite short. I think if people know they're coming for an hour and a half, That's not too long for them to commit to. Now, normally they do run over, but that's, you know, an hour and a half is not too much to ask. If they come at 7, go home at, say, 8:30 or whatever, they've still got their evening to themselves if they need to do something else. But you just want to keep it nice and short and keep it fun as well. So very hands-on, like I said. And very much, you know, we're talking about really fun things like makeup and skincare, which we all love, and the nutrition. It's all a fun experience. You want people to go away think, well, I've had a really good time, it wasn't a chore. So getting the products onto people is really important to make it really interactive and make them feel like you're not just talking at them, that they've come to a business presentation. And obviously we all know that getting the products on them is essential for them to actually experience that as well. So like I said, it's a case of trial and error. I'm sure you've all done lots of these, and you must know what works for you. But I'll just explain what works for me. I'll just go through it bit by bit. So number one thing is to sort of get prepared. You don't need any fancy snacks or anything exciting. I just usually put out a few crisps, and I've always got cake in the house, as you might know. As Marie-Louise said, I'm a wedding cake designer, so there is always cake in the freezer somewhere, which I managed to dig out, or some brownies or something. Nothing too fancy. I make fizz sticks, I put them in champagne flutes, so it looks really nice. I went to Wilko's and got champagne flutes. I think were like 50p each, which was a real bargain. So I've got like a couple of boxes of those, and it was like job done, so that's fine. And it just looks really classy, just really nice, rather than just having them in a, I don't know, one of your kids' IKEA cups or something like that. So get everything prepared. I'm just going to turn the camera around actually. I've set up my kitchen, which is where I do my launches. I'll just show you how I set this up. So I hope you can see this, everybody. So it's basically this, I get all the products out that I've got in the house. I've got the mirrors there, I've got my catalogues out, order form, a couple of pens, and I've got it divided into sort of nutrition area, the skincare, bit of makeup, and then the new products that were launched in Vegas. So I hope you could all see that. Did you all see that okay? Good. So just getting everything out. I always say to new consultants, they're a bit worried when they see everything that I've got in the house. Obviously, I've built this up over the last 3 months, what I'm naturally using anyway. But my sponsors were really kind and helped me by letting me borrow their products to start with. So that's not something to worry about. Hopefully you've got some support and help there with that, because you just can't buy everything to start with, obviously. So when people arrive, I make sure that they get straight in and they come to the sink, and I get them to scrub their hands with the Rescue and Renew scrub. So I do that, which obviously we all love the smell of. So everyone goes, oh, that's really beautiful smell. It's all the grapefruit. It's lovely. It's very spa-like experience. And I also have the hand wash and the hand lotion, the shea butter hand lotion as well. So they get to have immediately, oh, come on in, wash your hands. And this is very much what Danny Wells was speaking about in her training. I definitely think that's, you know, it's brilliant. So straight into the products from the minute they sit down and they've just washed their hands, they've got something nice and they're talking about it. They're already talking about the products. So then I just get them to sit down. And the other thing I should say is I don't have more than 4 or 5 people at any one time at any one launch, because we did have one crazy night when I had 7 people here, because I just did the classic thing of over inviting and everybody said yes. It's never happened before. I mean, I've had plenty of launch parties where one person's turned up or no people have turned up or whatever, but you know, 4 or 5 is really the max, because you want to be able to make it really personal, be able to have those one-to-one conversations at some point during the evening where you can really talk about what they're interested in, what they love, what they really liked best, and what their skincare problems or issues or concerns are with their nutrition or whatever. You need to do that. So maximum 4 or 5 people, because otherwise it just gets too chaotic. And in fact, on the night when I had 7 people here, I actually had fewer sales than on some of the nights when I've had just 3. So it just goes to show you do need that time one-on-one with people. So get everybody to sit down after they've done their lovely hand sort of treatment when they come in. They've got their fizz sticks out and their champagne flutes or whatever fancy thing you want to do. So they're talking about something. You can explain what the fizz sticks are. And you just at the beginning just throw in some of the products, making sure that they're talking to each other about them. Or that's, you know, oh, that tastes nice. Or you can offer a few different flavors. You could have different flavor fizz sticks in different glasses, the green ones, the orange ones, the pomegranate ones, you know, so you've got different colors. People can talk about them. It's all discussion. It's all just making it fun and not just formal. So then it's a case of, then before I start the actual sort of businessy bit, I get them to put the these wonderful gel eye masks on one eye. So if they need to cleanse underneath one eye, take the makeup off, I do that. But I put that on and I say, right, I'm going to stick with this on. These are amazing. These are my like #1 best-selling product. Just you wait and see the results. You'll see instant results. Sit there and you just have a nice quiet sit while I chit chat, and then after I finish 15 minutes or so, we'll take that off and you can see the results instantly. So it just gives them something to, again, get straight into the products, and they know then also that they're just going to be sitting there for a short time while I'm just doing a quick 15-minute talk and trying to keep it to 15 or 20 minutes at the very most. Again, it's very, you know, there's a bit of discussion about which way around we put it. Is it the small bit on the outside or the inside of the eye? It's up to you. And they ask a bit more about it. And I show them also then a photograph that I taken of my own before and after, so they can actually see the results that they might expect. And again, it's all about throwing evidence at people, and it's all about making sure that they have got as much interaction as possible. So once I've got the gel eye masks on everybody, I start doing my DA. So I start doing an introduction about why I decided to join Arbonne, and then I go through, I've got these printed off these sheets from the source. There is, obviously the source is brilliant because it's got, I mean, there's 24 pages that you could print off. I definitely do not go through the whole thing. I cover the key points when I'm doing my DA and when I'm discussing the business. So the key points for me are the Arbonne story. So explaining that, obviously where it started, it's 40 years old. It's a really, you know, it's credible business. It's a global company. It's got cutting edge science backing everything that all the products that are made. There's years of research go into the products, and they're constantly evolving. And I talk about the fact that it's all obviously plant-based and the whole pure, safe, beneficial philosophy, and discuss that. So that's the first thing. If I'm going too fast, please just say, because I'm waffling on. I have a tendency to just talk. Great, thank you, Marie-Louise. So then I talk about that it's Swiss formulated, and that it's the highest quality ingredients, that obviously it's not tested on animals. And I talk about the actual ingredients in the product. So I talk about what is excluded. So we all know that there are 1,500 ingredients banned in the EU, and we go on to ban a further 500. I talk about the fact that there are no mineral oils and there are no parabens. And I do invite everybody that's here to say, oh, you know, do you know about mineral oils? Have you heard of parabens? I don't want to be, you know, condescending or patronising, and just make sure, you know, they'll usually go, no, I don't know anything about that. And so then you can tell them about mineral oils and parabens and why we do not want them anywhere near our skin. And I always at this point like to throw in the thing that I felt really most sort of strongly about, and that was the mineral oil. The fact that if you are putting mineral oil on your skin, it doesn't actually allow the ingredients to absorb into the skin. I mean, I'm not telling you because you all know this, but I'm just saying this is what I say to people, because for me, my thing was, well, that's a complete waste of my money for a start. And, you know, we were spending perhaps before we joined Arbonne, money on stupid amounts of money on ingredients and products that we were told did X, Y, and Z, but actually they're just not. And so I always invite that idea to people and just say, look, you know, that's really quite incredible. We're just kind of being basically sold nonsense, and you may as well just rub your £5 notes all over your skin because you're not buying anything that does anything. And I also as well talk about how mineral oils are used to dilute the active ingredients, and how what we're buying again is just very, it's not actually doing the job it's supposed to do. So it's making them see and open their eyes up to, oh, and they usually go, well, hang on, I've been using X, Y, and Z, and it's, Kiehl's or Origins, it's all, very plant-based, and it's all marketing itself as friendly, very organic and all that sort of thing. And it's just making them think about the skincare and about the products that we've got. So again, it's just making them just sort of interactive and being thinking about what they are doing at the moment. And it's really, really important, because that is our USP. Obviously, it's really important that we get that across. So then I talk about the range of products very quickly, just cover skincare, nutrition, we do personal care like baby products, and then I discuss the network marketing principle, the idea that we're obviously not, unlike traditional retailing, we're going directly from the manufacturer directly to the consumer, and discuss that very briefly. And then I just cover the compensation plan, and I just always say again, and it's really important to do this, and even if it's very, very quickly, you don't want to start boring people with numbers, because they just get confused. You start talking about thousands of pounds and months to get to DM and all this sort of thing. So just a brief overview, and again, this might not be for you, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because who do you know? I always ask that question. Who do you know? Not do you know somebody, but who do you know that might want to earn this kind of money, that might want to work in an amazing business like this, etc. And it's really important to tell them, so that it just jogs their mind, and they do start to think, well, maybe that is applicable to my sister or my neighbour or whatever. So that's it, and that is my DA. And then after we've done the DA, I just take the eye gel off, and everybody goes, oh my God, yeah, look at that. And they all start looking at each other. And it's amazing to see, because the gel eye masks really do have instant results. And it just kind of proves everything that you're saying, all your passion about Arbonne, it's there. Look, it's actually real. And then what else do I do? Then after that, I'm always talking about what I love as well. So then we move on to the skincare. So I kind of split it up now the rest of the evening. So we move on to the rest of the products. I've done my DA, and I split it up, starting with the skincare, and then I do the makeup, and then I talk about the nutrition. So that's how I make sure that I cover everything. And I offer that they can go through the whole skincare routine, the RE9 process, the cleanse, tone, whatever. If they want to do that at my sink, that's fine. Or if they want to do it on the back of the hand, if they're not confident to take the makeup off, that's fine. I also get the Genius pads out and explain how you use those. And I show the video, I think hopefully you might have seen it on YouTube, of the consultant over in the States who does the Genius pads thing on the back of the hand, which is amazing. It's only 2 minutes. I just thought, well, let me just show you this. It's only 2 minutes. And everyone goes, oh my God, wow, that's amazing. So it's just, again, getting people's reaction so they can see the proof that these things do work. So after I have done the skincare, I also then do the nutrition. Do the makeup. So go through the makeup. And I do the little test which you can do with an eyeliner and the setting pretty powder. So I draw 2 lines of eyeliner, black eyeliner, on the back of my hand, and then I put the setting pretty powder, just dab it on quite a lot onto one of the lines, and then you give it a good rub, and you say, hey, look, see how look at the line that hasn't got the powder on it, look how that just smudges away so quickly, and this one, it's amazing, it's stuck, and I can't really shift it. And I love the setting pretty powder anyway, so I talk about that as being my favourite product. So, and the primer as well, I get that on the back of the hands to feel how nice that is. So that's the makeup, and then the nutrition. I talk about the nutrition, and obviously it's good to have made up a sample of the shakes so that they can taste that themselves. Are you chocolate or you vanilla? What do you think you prefer? Just give them a little try in a shot glass or something like that. And see what they think. So talk through some of the nutrition. Again, it's about just introducing them to all the products. There's so much to get through. You can't talk in detail about everything. But obviously they'll have questions and you can answer those as you go along. And the 30-day plan, just explaining what that is and about how the gut health obviously is the key to making, the key to Arbonne and the key to the principle of being healthy inside and out, and explaining that very quickly about what that does, and that it's not one of these meal replacement diet fad things. It's about getting you healthy and having healthy eating habits for life, and introducing those things to them. And talk about whatever you want, really. And all the time, I would just say, any favourite products of yours that come up, just be passionate and talk about them, because they're the ones that we all have our favourites, and they're the ones that you can genuinely talk about. So all the time, just if there's anything specific, just add that in. So obviously at this point, I think, oh my God, I've been talking forever, just like I have been tonight. And I just like take a pause and I just recap on everything I've shown them. So I think, they're a bit bamboozled, like, wow, you've just done this and you've done that, and I've thrown everything at you. And there's the new products as well to talk about, perhaps all the brand new things launched in Las Vegas. It's up to you, whatever you feel passionate about. But I stop for a sec and I just recap and say, okay, so I've thrown a lot at you, but let's just go through what I have shown you. We did the hand cleanse, the little spa thing, then we did the gel eye pads, etc., etc. So they can just be reminded of everything, because it can feel like you're sort of bombarding them with everything. And then after that, we just go through asking what they love the most, and what did you like the most about the products. And at this point, I would try and do some personal one-on-ones while everybody's sort of having a bit of chit-chat, or make them a cup of tea or something, and just have a chance at some point to talk to everybody one-on-one and ask them, so what, do you have any problem areas, anything about skincare, or is it, the nutrition you're most interested in, and just spark one-on-one conversations with everybody, so that you can just kind of have a little talk and invite everybody else while you're talking to people one-on-one. Just have a little play with the products. Yeah, go on, help yourself, open the boxes, play with the makeup, whatever. But that's really, really important, that you just, you do that personal one-to-one thing, even if it's just for a couple of minutes, because you need to establish, well, hopefully it'll be more than that, but you need to establish what their needs are, and find the solutions that we have for them. So at the end of after that, what I do is, obviously we'll just do the classic, the 3 options. So if you do want to, if you are interested, obviously there's 3 ways you could get involved with Arbonne. Either A, as a customer, or B, as most people do, you could become a consultant, as they can, if you can see the business opportunity, you could be a consultant. And if none of that interests you, if you would just be so kind as to be my cheerleader and just tell everybody that you know about the products, or anything that you've seen that you like tonight, and take something away from this, that you really loved, and just tell everybody about Arbonne, tell everybody that I'm here, and generally be my cheerleader if you don't want to buy the products, if that's not for you. And then what I like to do as well then is, just when the evening's coming to a close, obviously you need to try and close with some sales. That's obviously what we're doing this for, as well as, you need to get people interested in actually buying something. So if you can, I try and do that on the night, rather than saying, go in, have a think about it, and we'll come back to it, because everything's here now. And if you can do that on the night, it's much more powerful. And you can also talk to them right here and now about any offers they might be able to get, any free gifts, obviously encouraging them to sign up as preferred clients, or even independent consultants. And it's just making sure that you do try and close the sale. So that's something I was really cautious about to start with, because a lot of the time it's my friends who are here to start with. Well, they're still my friends, but it is a bit awkward selling to your friends. I think we all find that a little bit awkward, I think, to start with. But it's just about doing it in a nice way, and be mindful of the fact that you've got something that can help them, and it's it's the most amazing product, and don't undersell it. This is a really, this is a high-end product, and so we're not giving it away for free, and we're not doing bargains. We're not those brands. We are our brands. So you need to, think, well, I've got something really, really amazing here, and I'm selling it, and I'm offering it to you, and I want to help you with whatever it is that you need, skincare and nutrition wise. So if you can think like that, it just gives you a bit more confidence, I think. Well, it did certainly for me. And so I just sort of say, well, should we get this order put through now, and then we can get it sorted? You'll get it in 3 days. Or if it's towards the end of the month, you could say, let's get this in before the end of the month, and then there might be a certain free gift that they're eligible for that month. And then if for any chance, obviously, they don't want to buy, or it becomes quite uncomfortable and they want to go away and have a think about it, look at the products, take the catalogue to borrow, always make sure I get that back. It's another excuse to follow up. But make sure that you do follow up, the magic follow up that we all know about. Make sure you follow up really quite quickly. So I always immediately that evening, thanks for coming, I send a quick text, thanks for coming, after they've gone, really hope you enjoyed it, etc. Then maybe the same again the next day or the day after, and just say, look, if they hadn't bought anything, was there anything that you wanted to, any more questions you have, any orders you want to put through? I'm just doing an order now. And it's just about keeping going with those follow-ups. Again, I've got several people who've been to launches and they still haven't bought anything from like a few weeks ago for whatever reason, and I will still follow up. As Laura says to me, you've got to be pleasantly persistent. That's what she says to me, which I think is a brilliant way to describe it. So that's what I am trying to be with those people. So that's it, actually. I've waffled on for quite a while now. So if anybody's got any questions or anything they want to ask me, I'm sure you're all brilliant experts at doing this, but please ask away.
I've got some questions. Firstly, I just wanted to say well done. I've sort of been a bit out of practice with doing sort of pamper evenings. I used to do them quite a lot, and then my evenings got busy and it's fallen by the wayside. So it was really nice to have a refresher, and like everyone does it differently. My question to you is, are you always doing them at your house? Because I've tended to sort of do it where someone hosts and I go to their house, and then you've got the issue of like, you don't know what their setup is. You feel slightly awkward if you don't know them that well, so actually there must be some benefits to having it at your house. So do you always have it at your house?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, so far, I have always had it at my house, because I'm like working my way through my friends that I'm basically just dragging to my house from hell or high water. I have tried to organise some parties where some of my friends might be willing to host them for me at their house, but I just haven't got to that stage yet. I've only been doing this for 3 months, so it's definitely the next thing I need to do. I've run out of my immediate network now to get them to come to me. And in fact, I did have a bit of a duplication. Last week, I did a launch of the new products, and that's how I marketed it, as it were, and just said, right, I've got all these amazing new products from Vegas. Come and have a look. I'll show you them. But yeah, the same friends that had come again, another come for the second time. So yeah, I need to definitely start now taking it to other people's houses. And I've had some people are really, I don't know whether you find this, Marie Louise, but a lot of people are really nervous about organising something like this with their group of friends. I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe I'm not selling it properly, but if I was going to go and do it at somebody's house's house, I would just try and duplicate what I've done at my own house, I think, and make it hands-on.
Yeah,
so
I've just sort of excuse me, I've just in the past done it as a sort of like free pamper party, but it is harder in a way to sort of like pin people down. It's sort of and then, but I think and also people don't like necessarily hosting. So I guess if you're having it at your house, but you still have a host, but if they would, I guess you could maybe offer it to them. You could say, do you want it in the comfort of your own home? I can come to you, or would you prefer me to do some product demos and you come to me? I guess you could always do it that you offer it to people. I've got another question. I mean, I guess sort of at the moment you said you're still working your way through, I guess, your warm market, people that you know. How have you been inviting people, if you've been doing it in batches of sort of aiming to have 4 people, which I agree is a good number? I did one party where there was something like 13 people, and I got some sales out of it, but I was very stressed, and I didn't feel like I gave that kind of one-to-one. So definitely quality over quantity. But yeah, so how have you been doing the invites so far?
So I just sent out the what individual WhatsApp messages to start with, just saying, look, I'm launching my new business. You know, it's really exciting. I'd love your support. And that's how I did that. So it's basically asking people to come and see my new business and see and support me. Bit of a begging thing, really, I guess. But you know, I've had really great friends who've done that and come and supported me. Just come and learn about it. And most of them haven't even heard of Arbonne at all before. So yeah, I've definitely exhausted my warm market now. It's time for me to move on. So I'm, you know, open to advice on that online, on the hosting thing as well. Just trying to encourage people to host, because you know, you can tell them there's a free gift and you can tell them they'll get, you know, host rewards and things like that, but people seem to be quite reluctant to do that, whether they can't be bothered to organise it. So my next task, I think, is to try online parties, and I know Danny does that really quite a lot. She's quite successful in that, and there's a lot of good advice on that. But yeah, I think that's next for me, because I haven't had a lot of success with asking people to host.
Taking a bit of practice. So Laura's put a comment in the chat. She said, Helen, talk about your cold marketing experience. So I guess you haven't quite got into that as yet. So I guess it will be modifying kind of your ask. But you know, you've already started doing that with with what you trained on today. You mentioned about the three options of, you know, you could either be a consultant and join for the discount, or building a business, both. You've got the becoming a client, but you've also got the, you know, be my cheerleader. You know, there's that's something that I need to do it at. Laura saying you have been doing cold market.
Yeah, I've been doing quite a lot of cold marketing, actually, with Laura and on my own as well. So some of the things I've been doing is going to networking events. So, you know, business networking as a guest for some people. I haven't actually joined anything yet because I haven't found a group that suits me, but from a timing point of view, with having my boys. But yeah, so networking, definitely. I've also been following up, so taking people's business cards, and even if I didn't speak to them, even if they don't remember me, I will still follow up and give them a call afterwards, and that's completely cold. And then I've also been going to job fairs as well, which is a brilliant way to speak to people who are actively looking for employment and for income. So that's been really quite good, just getting out there as well. And then also what I have been doing a lot on my own is going to just around to my local villages or wherever I happen to be at the time. Been going into Loughborough, or been to around in Glenfield or other local places, and just literally going in and asking people, oh, you know, I'm building my business in this area, have you heard of Arbonne? And you know, those sort of conversations. I've been to some gyms and stuff, and just walking in with products. I've always got my bag of samples always with me in my bag, and that's something I borrowed from Fiona. I saw her doing that. It's just always have that with me, so I've got something to leave, and catalogues and business cards and things like that. But yeah, I mean, that's it. It's quite nerve-wracking when you first go in, it really is, but it just takes practice. If you can just take a deep breath and go for it, again, just think, look, I'm offering something really amazing here. You know, we all love the products, and you have to think like that. So that's that.
Does anyone here on this call tonight have any either questions for Helen about her experience, or want to add any of their own top tips to sort of add to it? Just unmute yourself and get involved. We've got about 5 minutes left. Oh, Laura says she's so proud of you, Helen. Oh,
thank you, Laura. Laura has been just amazing. She's just been the best coach completely. So thank you, Laura.
Good. Anyone here? What about you, Maritza? You know, you come from a sort of beauty background. Do you do much sort of parties yourself, or is it a bit difficult for you with you being because you're a single parent? Do you do any parties yourself, Maritza?
I haven't been doing a party because I actually find it quite difficult to get people to have parties for me.
Yeah.
I've been doing more online party, virtual party. I find that I ask people to have party and most of them say no. I had a few at home, but nobody showed up. So I'm trying to rethink what I'm going to do in that area, because I think my warm market is a little bit. I need to get to know some more new people, I think.
Yeah.
I'm doing more co-marketing at the moment.
It's just getting out and trying to talking to people and feeding that pipeline of people. I've been doing a lot more opening up on my Facebook, so I'm a bit more accepting. So where there's a lot of like, you know, where they recommend friends who, you know, if you've got a lot of mutual friends, I've been friending them and then sort of messaging them and saying, oh, you know, if looking at their profile, and if there's something that is I could comment on in terms of about what they do, I'll sort of comment on that. What about you, Rebecca? Have you got anything to add today? Oh,
no, I haven't got anything. Oh, hang on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah,
yeah. No, I haven't got anything to add really. I'm just going to try more on the Facebook.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the parties. I really do enjoy them, but it's struggling to find time. So I'm going to try more of the Facebook and the Instagram. But I'd just like to say thank you very much, Helen. That was really great training. Very well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for saying.
And I just, you know, on the topic of like live parties and like online, you know, there is so much training out there. As Helen said, that we've got, Danny's done a lot on there, and, you know, there's that, you can do a lot where you're scheduling it in, so you can be having a party going out while you're doing something else. You know, it can be quite time savvy, but I think it takes practice. You know, it goes back to messaging people individually, then you've got to remind them about it and following up, and you know, just leading with the enthusiasm. You know, we all know what we need to do, but it you know, sometimes we sort of get a bit swept up in our own day-to-day lives, and this was a great refresher for those. I think most of the people on here, we've done Arbonne for a while, but, you know, it's good, it's great to see your enthusiasm, Helen, you know, and we are all passionate about the products. I know my mum calls me brainwashed occasionally, but she also knows how good the products are, so she's a very good client as well. And it's leading with that passion, and you've been a breath of fresh air, so thank you very much. So I'm going to wrap this up now, and then we'll be jumping on the 9 o'clock call. I believe Nikki Marchant is hosting that one. I think I saw on the post. But anyway,
well done for hosting. Well done for hosting, Marie-Louise. That was awesome. Yeah, you took charge. I love it.
Cool.
Brilliant.
All right, then. Well, take care, and we'll see you on the next call. Bye now.
Bye. Bye.